How big can I get my heart to be?
Thought Media Network proudly presents
How much love can I get flowing out of me?
The Real Talk Sisters. Deep, unfiltered, soulful conversations with Reverend Dr. Pjae Stanley, Reverend Kim Andrews, and Reverend Melinda Wood Allen.
How big can I get my heart to be?
Join us for Real Talk on Real Issues, Tuesdays, 2 p.m. Central, 1 o'clock Mountain. And now, let's join the Real Talk Sisters.
How big can I get my heart to be?
Hello, everybody.
Hey. Hi, everyone.
Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, good to see you guys. How's everybody doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm Reverend Melinda Wood Allen, senior minister at the Church of One Love in Dallas, Texas. I'm so glad to be here with all of you today.
I'm Reverend Kim Andrews. I am spiritual leader at Unity Spiritual Center in Saxe, Texas.
Yay. And my name is Reverend Dr. Pjae Stanley, and I am the senior minister at Harmony Spiritual Center in Fort Worth. So glad to be here today with all of you. Got a great topic.
Yeah. You want to do a check-in before we delve into the topic? How are y'all doing this week?
Yeah, I was just talking. It's been a good week. It's been a good. Getting ready to go out of town, to go out of country. So, and I'm one that packs the night before I leave. Because it just clarifies my mind, and I just okay, I don't have a whole lot of time to mess around, so I just throw stuff in there. And then it looks like everything is happening on the final week, and that's all you've got to, you're trying to focus on getting out, and there's all these little things in how did that happen? But that's okay. It is what it is. Time expands and contracts, and it does what it does, and I'm still getting on that plane. So
you go. We'll be there.
So I'll be there. I'll be there. So it's been a good week. It's been a great week
for you. Yeah,
thank you.
I'm a little bit sleepy today, so I've been up since 4:30 in the morning, and it's been a busy day and a good day, busy and good, and ready for a nap. So if you hear a clunk, then my head hit the desk.
There goes Kim.
But there's no sleeping when the three of us are together.
Oh, none whatsoever. We have the nerve to actually put some time together. We're going to be together, and I was thinking there'd be oh my God, we're not going to sleep. I have so much I want to share with you guys. It's just there's no sleep. We just have to leave, and I'm getting on the plane after that, so I'll just pass out on the plane.
It'll be good for you to sleep on the plane.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So we're going to stay up.
Awesome.
Talk. Carry on.
Well, I didn't sleep very much last night either. But my reaction to that, instead of being sleepy all day, is to have a little too much adrenaline that's keeping me going. So kind of that's where I am, and it's been a hard kind of a hard week. My husband's needing some more treatments for his illness, and that's never fun. They're hard on him, and so I think I was a little down. But my daughter came over today and cut my hair. It's been way too long since I had it. Thank you. And I took her out. It was her birthday this month, and we hadn't had a chance to really get together other than to have a quick dinner. So I took her out shopping, and we went and had some Mediterranean food for lunch, and just had some. And she feeds my soul. That kid, I love the time I spend with her. So it was a good thing. I got errand up today.
Nice.
Which I needed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So our topic is forgiveness as a spiritual practice.
And it is maybe the most important spiritual practice we will ever do, because
I think it is actually.
None of the others really completely work if we're holding on to enmity in our hearts.
Yeah.
Then none of the others really work. So I had a reading from Emily Cady, and I use this reading as when I think I've forgiven someone, I ask myself the question that's in here. It's like, really you think you have?
And which book is it in? Do you know which book it's in?
Lessons in Truth.
It's Lessons in Truth. All right.
She says, we must forgive as we would be forgiven. To forgive does not simply mean to arrive at a place of indifference to those who do personal injury to us. It means far more than this. To forgive is to give to give some actual definite good in return for evil given. One may say, I have no one to forgive. I have not a personal enemy in the world. And yet, if under any circumstances, any kind of served him right thought springs up within you over anything that any of God's children may do or suffer, you have not yet learned how to forgive.
Wow.
That's a high bar, y'all. The
Yeah,
pain,
it's a high bar.
the very failure to demonstrate over some matter that touches your own life deeply may rest upon just this spirit of unforgiveness that you harbor toward the world in general. She's basically saying, if things are not going, if you're not able to demonstrate in your life the good that you believe you are putting out, take a look at what you're holding on to that you haven't forgiven. And I mean, that's a really that bar of, oh, do you ever think, well, good serves him right? You know?
Yes. And in this political climate, there are a lot of new thought people who are talking, who are saying things that, okay, are you hearing what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because where is the forgiveness? Where is the compassion? Because everybody's acting out either because they're trying to get love. It's all about love. It's really all about love. And so then if we return whatever it is they're giving us with love, it's transformative. Not served them right, but with the love that they're seeking. They're seeking. So we're all either seeking it or giving it, one or the other, but it's all about love. And that, if you knew that, then you wouldn't be saying serves them right, because love is the only thing that serves people right. It's the only thing that does, So that's a great quote. I love that.
I love that. Love is the only thing that serves people right. If you want to serve someone right, then love is the only thing you can serve.
Love them back.
Yeah.
Love them back. And it just changes you. It's not even about them. When you love them, it's about you and your capacities.
Because a lot of people are calling for love. They're seeking love, but they don't know that. They just know there's an emptiness.
Correct.
And people try to fill that emptiness with all kinds of things. They try to fill it with alcohol. They try to fill it with food. They try to fill it with friendships, with sex, with power, with money, with more things, with a bigger house, with a better car, all of those things. But all of that is a longing for fulfillment that only love can give.
Exactly.
And if you are still longing for those things and you haven't even figured out what it's going to be that can fulfill you, then you need all the love in the world. You need a lot of people to love you through that.
Yeah.
So with forgiveness as a spiritual practice, do either of you have forgiveness work that you do daily?
I don't know that I do it daily. I do it when it comes up. When I feel it, when I hear those, when I see myself looking at someone and I'm angry about something, or there's something in my heart that's not free, when it's aimed at something or someone, and that's when wait, hang on. So no, there's no, there's certainly obviously the daily practice of meditating and prayer and just connecting with God. But that's an interesting question. Do you have one? Do either of you have a daily forgiveness practice?
I kind of use, y'all know I'm a 12-stepper from way back, and there is a method in 12-step for taking a daily inventory. Okay. How'd things go for you today? Okay. And my question is, have I been the woman that I want to be today? Right. And in what places have I not? Right. So that I can forgive myself, but also change it. If it's harming me, I don't want to keep doing it. I want to be aware, and I can't change it until I'm aware of it. So when I do that, and it's almost just like a quick body scan, but it's an emotional body scan and a spiritual body scan. And I've become really adept at identifying the places where I feel stuck, where I feel like the energy is not flowing, or where there's some emotional charge. If I think about somebody and there's a charge to it,
correct,
then it's like, okay, what's that about? What's that about? Is there something I'm holding on to that I need to let go of? So that's really my my daily practice to try to stay clean with my forgiveness, and my practice when there is someone I'm having a really, really hard time forgiving. I know it's hard for you to believe that I would ever have a hard time forgiving anyone. I specifically pray this prayer, and I'll pray it for 30 days. And if it doesn't work in 30 days, I'll do another 30 days. But the prayer is this: I pray for the highest good for this person. Every single good thing I want for myself, I now wish them to be given from the arms of God.
Beautiful.
Amen.
Yeah.
And it changes my heart. It changes me. Now, sometimes that person stops acting like an a-hole. It must have been the power of my prayer.
Or maybe you stop perceiving
has my perception changed.
Exactly.
And, it doesn't really matter. It works.
It doesn't. It does not matter at all. It does not matter.
As we shift, everything shifts. Yeah.
It does. It does. When you mentioned your daily practice, Mel, I have a daily practice, and I guess it's kind of aligned with that. And part of it, and I talk with this all the time. I'm pretty sure I've shared it with you because it's who I am. Is that I call it my my DRM, my daily roadmap, and it's my top 5 values, because I think 5 things you can keep in your head, in your heart, and they everything is subsumed under those top 5. But every day I remind myself what those are, so that when I step out of bed, when I just put my foot on the ground, I am being that person, and everything that I do is judged by those 5 values. Am I showing up as these things? And love is one of them. Love is like the number 3. I mean, the first one is my relationship with spirit, and secondly is courage, because I think courage. Well, I know that it is. Courage is the bridge between where you are and where you want to grow, and you have to cross the bridge every single time. So courage is necessary. So that's one of my top ones. And then I'm going to show love for everything and everyone. So that I wasn't even thinking about that as a forgiveness practice. It's a practice so that I show up as me every day, and that's what I do every day. So yeah, I do actually. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. I didn't consider it as that, but that's what it is.
Well, it is when you're keeping clean, when you're able to ask yourself, am I being the person
I say I am?
That
exactly.
I say
am I showing up?
That I want
am I
to
showing
be,
up that way?
Showing up that way.
Right. So it's always at the top of my head. So I recognize it right away. That's not.
We're off the beam today.
That's not what you're claiming.
What can we do about it? How about you, Kim? Do you have a daily practice, or even a non-daily practice that you do?
I don't do a daily inventory, but as a part of my emphasis on peace and cultivating inner peace, that I am always attuned to when I am holding something that's toxic, when I'm holding unforgiveness, when I, like you said, when I feel some kind of energy around somebody, when I feel myself avoiding people, because, you see them and you go, oh, something kind of catches. And then I know I've got some work to do, and I know I'm not at peace, and I need to do something about this. And usually it's a shift in my own perspective, my mindset. Perhaps I'm tired. Perhaps I have avoided dealing with a situation that needs to be dealt with. Perhaps most often it's about forgiving myself for something.
Yeah, for sure.
Most often it's that. I am, if I have one thing I am constantly challenged with, maybe it's being on a high horse. I just need to come down off the horse. Just come down. Come down. Down. Let it go. Let it go. Take a deep breath. Yes. So most of it's about, fixing my attitude. I always call it fix my face. I need to fix my face.
My niece, Brittany, she is constantly, when we were at on the Family Feud, and we were sitting around, with all the other people, and everybody's talking and stuff like that. She was constantly hitting me under the table. Fix your face. Fix your face. Because apparently somebody would say something, and I had this look on my face, and she was just hitting me under the table, going, "Yeah, exactly. That look, Kim or Mel. Yeah, that look." And she was, fix your face. Fix your face. Fix your face.
Yeah. Stupidest thing ever. Oh.
Okay.
true?
Yes,
that was
it did.
news to you at that time? That was news to you that you do that? I'm just wondering.
Huh.
Just checking.
You didn't know that about yourself until Brittany hit
You
you.
know that? Yeah.
No, I didn't see, I mean, I know that things show on my face. I didn't know how immediate and how often things show on my face. It's
Yeah.
incredible. You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have to watch.
So
I have to control my face too.
I'm telling you, no, I'm just this doesn't work. It is what it is, and I'm okay with somebody just saying, "What's your face? What's the matter?" Oh,
What's with the face?
okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's what happened, and I'm really okay with owning what happened. If anybody wants to ask, everybody doesn't necessarily want to ask because they don't want to know the truth.
They don't
So,
wanna know.
as I see it, I don't, truth is relative. So,
That's a good point. That phrase is important as I see it. Yeah.
as I see it, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, but this is a great topic, and I was thinking about it. So many, we the title is forgiveness as a spiritual practice, but also things came up with what's the power of it and why do it and all, you know what I mean. And so all of these wonderful things came up in stories in my life of when it took me a long time to forgive something or someone, and just what a relief
Mhm.
of relief in my life it was when I finally said, "Oh, just let it go, let it go," you know. And sometimes the letting go came because I'm holding on to something the other person that's in my story then is completely unaware of.
Not even
It's
aware.
like completely unaware. What are you doing? Why do you got this story going on and carrying on? And this person's like, "I'm sorry, what is your name?"
Yeah. Exactly.
What?
So this whole drama in your life, and they
Hold
don't
on.
even know about it.
They didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Did we
There's,
did we meet? Have we met? Yeah, okay.
there's a quote by Desmond Tutu that's kind of about that. If y'all don't mind if I share it.
Please. Yeah.
He says, without forgiveness, we remain tethered to the person who harmed us. We are bound by the chains of bitterness, tied together, trapped until we can forgive the person who harmed us. Oh, until we can forgive the person who harmed us, that person will hold the key to our happiness. That
And isn't
person
that
will
something?
be our jailer. When we forgive, we take back control of our own fate and feelings and become our own liberator.
I love it. It's absolutely true.
That guy
I've
knew
been
it.
in that prison. I've been
Just-
there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Been behind the bars, had the cup, swinging it. Warden. Let me out, Warden.
And then they're like, the key's right there. Anytime you want
grab
to
the key.
use it, it's right there.
Hey,
Right there.
it's hanging right
It's
there.
not locked.
You
Or
have-
it's not locked. You're
You
behind the
have-
bars, but did you ever check? It's not locked.
Yeah.
It was always up to you to just walk through.
And
yeah,
I'm still
just walk
back
out.
there holding the
Hold the shut.
door
Hold the shut.
closed. Warden. Yeah.
Because we get attached to, because it becomes part of our story.
It's
We're the
our
wronged
story.
one. We're
Correct.
the one that this terrible thing happened to.
Okay.
And we
you
have to
gotta-
be able, you got to give that up.
Let it go.
You got to say, well,
Well. As my mom said, well. Well. Wow.
That's awesome.
Let it
Why don't we go to a break? I actually have a story about forgiveness and
Okay, good.
my
I'll
own
come back.
soul being eaten alive as I'm in the prison.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks.
See you all in a minute. And we're back. So, Kim, you have a forgiveness story.
I do. You two crack me up, by the way, but you know that. Um, so many years ago, and it's interesting. I just thought during the break that I can laugh about this now. But I was sexually assaulted as a young woman in my 20s. And it was by the perpetrator was somebody I knew. And, I know now that he groomed me. And I was house sitting for him. He came home before I expected him to be home. He showed up in the middle of the night and, sexually assaulted me. But I ran into him. I didn't report it or anything. I was shopping one day. It was actually Christmas. And I remember being in a toy store. And it's interesting because I heard his voice first. And that's what woke me up. Like my radar went up all of a sudden. He was in the next aisle. And all of a sudden I was back there in that room again with him. And I still didn't say anything, but he ended up coming. He was with a woman, came in and he walked by me. I did look at him and he kind of looked at me. There was I don't know that there was any recognition or anything. He didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. And I thought, my first thought to myself was, oh, okay, I'm all right. I'm okay. Nothing happened. Lightning didn't strike the building. I didn't want to attack him or anything. But I didn't realize that I was still harboring something. And I think this is where something happens to us and it can lay low for a while. And there are dredges of resentment, pain, or something. And I remember about a week later showing up. I remembered exactly where he lived and where this all happened. I was sitting in the parking lot of the apartment building and thinking about how I could hurt him as much as he hurt me. And I was just sitting in the car, boiling. Like I mean, my chest was hot. It hurt. I couldn't catch my breath. I was almost hyperventilating. I could see him. I could picture him up there just living his life and doing his thing. And here I was suffering. And I don't know how long this was from the actual incident itself. But I remember just thinking about, what are the things I could do to get him back? How could I exact revenge and do to him in some kind of way, hurt him as much as he hurt me? Sat there thinking about it for, I don't know how long, but it was dark out. And all of a sudden, it's kind of like a light bulb went on. And I thought, I don't know that he's losing any sleep about this. Like Pjae said, I don't know that he has any clue what he put me through or even that he cares. And I thought, and yet I'm the one sitting in this parking lot, almost unable to catch my breath, wasting all this time and energy, wondering how to exact revenge. And I remember asking myself, how long are you going to do this?
Beautiful question.
And I remember crying and I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm done.
Just like that.
I'm done. Because I'm the one getting eaten up from the inside out. I thought about him. And then when I heard him, and that brought everything back, especially hearing his voice, he had an accent. He was from Sierra Leone. And I remember his accent. And I thought, yes, I'm done. I'm done with this. And whatever it is I need to heal within me, I'm going to go find some way to heal it,
Right.
to deal with my pain. And after this, he is a non-entity to me in my life.
Correct. Yeah.
Letting go of all of it. So
Beautiful.
I remember soon after that, getting involved with a group where I could talk about that and vent that pain. And they talk about the incident itself and just really let all that emotion go. And then I was really done. Then I was emotionally done with it. And those tethers that you're talking about, all that was cut. And I really just felt free. And from then on, yeah, he didn't exist for me.
Exactly.
And I really did wish whatever life he wants, I hope you have it.
Yeah, exactly. You
'Cause
really do.
I'm going to go have my life now.
Correct.
So this incident is over, because I think for me that incident was still continuing all the way to that
Oh,
day in
yeah.
that car.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
there. It's
I was
absolutely there.
getting
It has to be resolved.
perpetration was happening over and over and over again. I was getting re-victimized over and over and over again, and I just said, yeah, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was suffering, and I don't know that. Again, I don't know that he recognized me in that store that day. I don't know that he had a second thought. I don't know that he thought about it while he was doing it.
Right.
I don't. But I said,
Yeah.
I do know I'm not anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm setting myself free. So yes, I laugh when I talk about being behind those metaphorical prison bars, but that's where I was.
Yeah.
Waiting for somebody, probably him, to open that door and let me out. And he wasn't. Yeah.
And the power, we talked about the forgiveness work. The power of what you're talking about, Kim, is that you had the keys all along. That we have the keys all along. We just got to wake up to the fact that we don't even need keys, because there's no jail, there's no bar, there's nothing. We're free.
Yeah.
As soon as we say we are, as soon as we say we are, as soon as we own that, we're free. Yeah. So
I had
beautiful.
no concept for that though, and
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it just never occurred to me until I sat there stewing in my own hate for somebody else.
Yeah, and one day you just notice, you just feel like, oh, and you may have felt that like that a million times, but one day you're ready and you just go, oh, I'm doing this. This is painful. No one's doing it to me. I get it.
I've been sitting in if you call it like a flame, I've been sitting there, but not realizing I'm the one burning.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And then I go, oh, ouch. Yeah, ouch. I can get up and get off the flame. Yeah.
Right.
So here's the beauty of that prayer that I shared earlier. When I say every good thing that I want for myself, I want this person to have in their life. What that means to me is not, I hope he gets a Mercedes because I want a Mercedes. What that means to me is, I want peace. I hope he has peace. I want to give love in the world. I hope he gives love in the world. I hope that I am open and forgiving. I hope that this person is open and forgiving. I want to not cause harm. I want this person to not cause harm. It's all of that. It's not about, oh, I hope you win the lottery, even though you did something bad to me and I'm that forgiving. I just want you to, it's not that. It's very deep. It's much deeper than that. Every good thing I want for myself, which is to be a person of integrity and love in this world and to bring love wherever I go. That's what I want for that person. It's none of my business whether that happens. It's going to be their choice. Yeah. But that I can want that with my whole heart. And that's how I watch the news, y'all.
Yeah.
That is my prayer for these people that start to trigger me. It's like, no, only I suffer when I do that.
Right. They don't even know you.
How can I let this? How can I let go of this? Because they're clearly calling for love. They're clearly saying, I don't have enough of something and I need more. And it's and then my compassion comes forward. It's like, not only do you need more, you have no idea what it is you need more of, hon. Bless your heart in a real deep sense. And I know what it is that you need, and it's love. And whatever little bit of mine I can give, I give you. And I hope you get all the rest. I hope you get all the love you ever need.
So the thing that I hear you saying, and I wanted to say to both of you, and for me too, as I understood it, is that forgiving is not saying that what they did was right, was okay. That's the thing. Is that I think people are confused with that. You're saying that it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying I'm okay. And I'm going to. I recognize the pain in your heart. I recognize the God in you. I recognize the behavior that you're exhibiting isn't the totality of you. I recognize all of those things, and I'm going to give love for that. But what you did is still there. which
Yeah,
is
and
still there.
that's one of the things. I teach workshops on forgiveness. It's just so important. And one of the things that I hear is forgive and forget. You know, if you've
No.
truly forgotten, you'll forget. No. No. Everything that has happened to me, all the abuse that I'm in recovery from, all of that brought me to where I am today. I own it. I give myself credit for the strength to walk through it. I give myself credit. You see me patting myself on the back. I give myself credit for having come to a place where I no longer have to carry that around with me. But do I forget it? No, that would be stupid. And to say, because I haven't forgotten that it happened, I'm not forgiving. If I can think of it and not be emotionally triggered and want revenge or be, plotting how to make it different, that's my cue that I haven't forgiven, not just the fact that I can remember. And it's important that we remember, because then we have, this is such a strong, powerful story that you told, Kim, because what happened to you is it's happened to so many women, and it's huge.
Yeah, it's a betrayal.
In its impact. And so if you just forgot about it, you wouldn't have this powerful ability to share that you walked through something and you came out the other side, golden, because you own who you are, and you do not let that person have any ownership over you at all. That's why we need to remember, so we can tell the stories and let people know it is possible to be on the other side of it.
And I think that there's a couple of things for me that I've learned over the years, because I was one that said forgive and forget, because I have the ability to do that. It was one of my one of those things that you learn how to do that saved me when I was a child. You know what I mean? So I was able to just let it go out of my head. What do you say?
I said they sometimes call that dissociation.
Exactly. Okay. And so just let it go. I mean, I was aware what you did, and I remembered what you did, but just letting it go out of my head allowed me to move forward in my life. And so I am one of those that says, just forgive it and forget about it. But what I understand now is not so much forgetting about it as releasing it from my heart. Just releasing it, which is very different than forgetting it. Just releasing the hold that it has on me. So I'm actually speaking differently about forgiveness work and how it works for me. And then I think I did get pushback from people saying, no, I can't forget it. That happened. But when I hear people saying that, it's like you haven't forgiven either, because it was such a hard not don't tell me to not hold on to that. But that is what I'm saying. It's not about forgetting it. It's about releasing it, so that you're releasing it from your heart. So releasing its hold on you. Releasing its hold on you. That's what we're talking about. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is that there's a place with forgiveness in that I don't think I've done anything wrong. Right? Like what is there? What? And so I have this. It's such a prominent story in my life, because this was Spirit speaking to me, and it was a very good friend of mine. We were very good friends. We played in a band together. We traveled together. We did a number of things together. And he just got really, really upset with me, and just was talking about me, saying stuff like, I'll have friends and I'll get them to drive a Mack truck through your living room. It was just awful stuff. And everybody who knew us said, what in the world happened to the two of you? And I honestly didn't know. So I have no idea. So I didn't know. So that's his problem. I don't know what's going on there, but that's his problem. But I was in meditation and prayer one morning, and I asked Spirit, I said, Spirit, I want my friend back. What do I do to get my friend back? He said, you have to apologize. And I go, I'm sorry, what? What happened?
I'm sure I misheard you, Spirit.
I didn't. Could you repeat?
Rewind.
Yeah. And I said, I'm having this conversation with Spirit. I said, I didn't do anything wrong. The Spirit said, that's not what you asked me. You said that you wanted your friend back. And I'm telling you, if that's what you want, then apologize. And I said, well, since I don't think I've done anything wrong, you have to give me some words, because I don't know what I'm apologizing for. And Spirit gave me the words. And what had happened was I had declined a gig for us. We were working a gig, but he wasn't. I was the one that set it together. I told the people what we would do, but he kept showing up in a whole different way, not what the people had asked for at all. And I kept asking him. I said, listen, they don't want you to show up like this. They have a high clientele. They want you to show up in a different way. And he wanted to show up like he was in a garage band. And so I told him, Coach, I've been in finance. I just cut it. And I just, because I couldn't deliver what the clients were paying for.
Mm-hmm.
So I just cut it. And so he was upset about that. And so I apologized for that. I said, I realized that I took money out of your pocket, money that you were using to pay, for your family and things like that. I apologize for that. I mean, the walls came down. It was, and he was just right there with me. And he said, "Oh, thank you for that. It did bother me." And he said, but I've missed you," and it just on and on and on. So my point is, forgiveness work. It's much more than just you needing to forgive other people. It's all about other people that you may have hurt that you don't even know that you have, but they need something from you. And if you get that, then you can love them back, even though you don't feel like you are responsible for something. Something happened, something hurt them that you are a part of, and just own your part. Whether you're intended to do what you did or not, you played a part. You played a part.
That is a beautiful, that brings up to me another tool that I use for forgiveness, which is Ho'oponopono. Y'all familiar?
Oh, I've heard that. Yes.
That? I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And it's a tool that someone introduced to me when I was in the middle of having a really hard time forgiving someone, a lot because I was still in relationship with that person and the behavior kept happening. It's like, I forgive you yesterday, but you're doing it again, and it was driving me crazy because I had people who had abused me in far more immediate ways that had more power in my life that I had completely forgiven. And yet this person, I was just having such a hard time letting go. And a minister friend of mine, Reverend Blair Tabor from Unity of San Diego, said, "Here's a thing I just heard about, try it." And as I read more, I just used it. I didn't know anything about it. I just started repeating it. It was extremely helpful. And it did release me from the tension in this relationship with this person. But as I read more about it, this Dr. Hugh Lin, I believe, used it. He was a psychologist, but he also used this. He was hired for, I'm going to tell it wrong. There was a hospital for the criminally insane in Hawaii, and they had a real hard time keeping psychologists or psychiatrists on staff.
I can imagine.
These were mostly people who were considered irredeemable, and he took the position. And he went in and he got their files. He read their files on a daily basis and said, "I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you." That's all he did. He didn't even have sessions with them. He read their files. He sent them love. He sent them his apology. He asked for forgiveness. And he said, "Thank you."
I didn't know that part of the story.
Like 80% of the people who had been considered irredeemable eventually got released from that place, so much that it closed down. The very few people that were left, they moved out. And there was very little recidivism from the people who had been released. And so this question of, well, why is he sorry? What did he do to him?
Right.
Well, here's the deal. If we are one.
Thank you. And they're in pain.
We all contribute to all of it. We are responsible for having created this world.
Right.
So I'm sorry that I am part of an energy that has created divisiveness, that has put us in these political polarities. That's how I use it. Because I know that I have a mind that wants to split things in two, that says this is right and this is wrong, and these people are better and these people are worse. I know that's what my mind wants to do, and I can't always be right on top of it. I do my best. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the ways that I use my mind that have contributed to the world. And I'm sorry for, forever. If we're all one and it's eternity, then even if I'm not doing anything right now,
I've
done something, I'm part of it. I'm part of it. And so it's not saying I'm wrong, I'm bad. It's a sincere, I recognize that I bear as much responsibility for everything that happens as any other person in the universe. And I regret the part that I play in creating divisiveness.
Yeah.
And I, and I'm sorry, and please forgive me.
Forgive me.
And thank you for allowing me to love you. Thank you for this relationship that's teaching me about myself and about the world.
Right.
You take it to that really, really deep place. Yeah,
I love it. I love it because it's all about energy. It's all about the energy that we put out individually as a group. And at some point we're all putting that energy out.
Yeah.
We can't be perfect 24/7. And so there are definitely times when I'm just going, what is wrong with this idiot? What? That's not loving. Okay. That's as much as
beloved child of God, you.
But we might want to.
I do that in the car. You, beloved child of God.
Oh, I love you so much.
Yeah.
That's such a great place. Driving is such a great place to practice forgiveness. Sorry, I love
In
you.
the moment. In the moment.
In the moment, because it is. It's a split second.
It's so immediate. It's so
It's like,
immediate.
I am
gonna
so
take a quick break.
spiritual. Someone just cut me off.
Okay, you beloved child of God, you. I think we're going to take a quick break and come on back. You think? Is it time?
Yeah, I think it's
time.
Let's do that, and then we'll come back. All right.
Hey,
Back
here we
back.
are.
So everything that we're saying comes back to the thing that forgiveness is for us. It isn't. I mean, everybody benefits, but it's really
Yeah.
it's for us. It really is. It just releases us, sets us free, sets us
Yeah.
free, and we have to do it again and again because so much builds up that we're unaware of. So I think you're right, Melinda, about having a regular practice of forgiveness because we don't even know all the time. It's not in our conscious awareness of things that we need to let go of and forgive. So I like that idea. Yes.
Yes,
And the act of doing it.
I think sometimes things simmer until we get triggered. Something
Yes.
familiar comes
Yes.
up about a situation,
Yes.
and then stuff can kind of roll to the top. I was thinking again about, that we don't forget, but we are forgiving. And I think especially with the sexual assault and some other things that have been really painful in my life, I just learned to hold them differently. And they became something other than this toxic, painful thing. It became something I walked through, a fire I walked through. I was happy about. It was important to do my healing around that particular thing. So, like you said, Melinda, I was proud of myself that I was able to come through this and not just come through it and survive, but to thrive on the other side of it and to be better. Maybe not in spite of it, but in light of it and in light of it.
Yeah. Yes.
Better, to be stronger, to be wiser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
to be able to help others to heal. And so, I hold it in a much different place within me. And it no longer eats away at me.
Yeah.
It feeds me in a way, and then I get to help feed others.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
we get to say thank you for being my teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
We
for
do.
being my teacher.
I mean that sincerely. Just mean that sincerely. One of the things that Oprah says all the time is, "What do I know for sure?" I use it a lot because what it means, I don't know what she meant by it, but what it means to me is that I know I have a surety about the things that I have actually done, the things that I've actually experienced. And so, just as a ministerial leader, a spiritual leader, how do we talk about things we're not willing to do ourselves, that we haven't actually walked through? And people pick up and know that you are authentic, that you are talking about something you know for sure. And so you have the right to share that in a loving way, but in a way that says you have been there, you understand what they're dealing with, what we're all dealing with, but do it anyway. Do it anyway. Yes, it is painful. Yes, it's work. Yes, it's all of those things.
Painful, and it's possible to not have it hurt you anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, that's just, I mean, part of our ministry is to have experienced all of these things and truly deal with it. And show up as a human being. So I don't forget. I'm sorry. Apologize. What? Who? What? No.
And in the end, it all comes down to self-forgiveness, because
does.
whatever they did, that was a long time ago. Everything that I feel about it now is me
It is.
holding on to it, re-injuring myself, running through the
Yes.
story again. And it
Right.
comes down to, we all do the best we can with what we have.
That's
And am I gonna continue replaying this story? Don Miguel Ruiz, when his book, The Four Agreements, had first come out and before it got on the Oprah Book Club, so he was still an affordable speaker to have. Our church had him in as a speaker. Wasn't very well known at the time. And he has this phrase, which, it's hard to hear. And think of a young woman in her 20s hearing this phrase, "Who's raping you now?"
Wow.
And going, "Yeah,
I'm sorry.
dare
What?
you?" Well, actually, that's true. He says human beings, we punish ourselves over and over and over again for the same crime. True justice would be one crime, one punishment.
Yeah. Right.
Instead, we punish ourselves over and over and over and over again by keeping the story alive, by replaying the memory, by re-injuring ourselves with the feelings. And I'm not saying it's easy. God knows.
Oh no, God, no, it's not that.
But
It's not that.
it's a choice that we can make. It's a choice that we can make. And y'all have heard me, probably the person I talk about the most in my spiritual journey, because he's been my teacher, is my dad, who I had so much problem with, so much pain, so much abuse, abandonment, physical, verbal, emotional, spiritual abuse in my most vulnerable times of my life. And the last 20 years of my dad's life, we were just golden. We enjoyed each other's company. We spent time together. I nursed him through all of his illnesses, including his final illness, open-heartedly and gladly. And that's real forgiveness. So I have that experience, and how valuable my relationship with him has been. I can see all the ways that he was my teacher, can see all those ways. And I can see the years that I used the story to keep the pain alive in myself. I'm the child of an alcoholic who was mean and belligerent and who kicked me out of the house or made me feel unsafe and who did this and this and this. And all of this has happened since, because I had to leave home when I was 16 or whatever my stories were. And I remember at one point in my life, even after I'd done a lot of healing around it and really was kind of okay with my dad in my relationship, I remember one day thinking, when did that start? When did the really bad stuff start? Because he didn't drink when I was little. It's probably about age 7 or 8. And when did I move out of the house? 16. So we're talking 8 years. So is it appropriate for a 40-year-old woman to still be saying, those 8 years, man, those 8 years? It was really, when I was 17, that was a huge chunk of my life. But at 25, it was a different chunk. At 35, it was a different chunk. And I was letting go a little at a time. I was working on it the whole time, and I was letting go a little at a time. And I was learning to have boundaries with my dad, because if I didn't have boundaries, it would have been impossible. It would have been impossible.
Yeah, that part right there.
I had to put myself in a position not to be re-injured in the way that he might have re-injured me. So I had to have those boundaries in place. But I realized, I get to tell the story here. And it gets to be a story of triumph. It doesn't have to be a story of, woe is me. And it's so empowering. It's so empowering. And when my father died, my siblings who had not gone through any process of forgiveness with him had so much harder time grieving him, even till today, than I do. Now I think about my dad all the time. He's in my head. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not, but it almost always makes me laugh, It was a primary relationship.
Right.
And I couldn't have gotten there if I hadn't been willing to let go.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And the thing is that whoever it is, whatever it is, nobody's 100% good or 100% bad. It isn't all good and all bad. It just isn't. And when you hang on to this work that needs to be done, and you are unwilling to forgive, everything goes out the window. Everything. So you don't even have a real picture of the person. You have a moment in time, and it may have been a long moment, but you have a moment in time, not the full picture and the full relationship that you may have, if you even had a relationship with that person. And so, now not all, but I'm just saying for my particular story, and it looks like yours as well, to forgive allowed me to remember what was good. And
Yeah.
I am a product of being raised by that person.
Yes.
And there are many, many, many great things that I can do. And people will say, because my maiden name is Powell, and so it's me, my sister Essie, and my sister Denise. And people here in the South, women would say, them's Terry's girls, because that's my father's name, because we were so bold to speak out, to say what was on our mind. And that was all him. He did that. He gave that to us. He encouraged that in us, even to speak out for him.
Mhm.
So, and so that gave me back the forgiveness, gave me back the father that was good as well. And forgive the father, and really, I actually was able to think about, to love, the thing we started the whole show off with. People are either seeking, calling for love, looking for love. It's all about love in some way. And when I was able to look at my father with these different eyes, I could see the pain that he was suffering through from the way he was raised. Because
Yes.
I know what my grandmother did to me as a grandchild. I can imagine what she did to her kids.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
so I was able to feel that for him, and to understand his suffering as well. So much opens up when you forgive. It's about you, it's about them, it's about your life, it's about the wholeness of it's so much. It's so much. It's worth it. It's worth going through the process.
And it's what you were saying about getting the good memories back.
Yeah.
That is something that is a product of this good, bad, black, white, this dualist culture that we live in,
Yeah.
that says, person's been good to me for 20 years. He did something. He betrayed me. It's all over. Nothing's good.
He's no
Never
good.
again.
No.
And maybe it really was a betrayal, but does that take away 20 years of
Everything?
good? It doesn't. But our culture has convinced us that we have to decide.
Yeah, it's
We
black
have
and white.
to be a good person
On
is
or off. Yep.
which side of the fence do I put them on?
Right.
And no one belongs on one side of the fence.
They don't. They don't. They
And so
deserve
part of
forgiveness.
what we have to forgive is our tendency to try to do that.
Yeah. And part of that is saving ourselves. I mean, at the beginning, you have to separate it out so you can step aside and take a look. But at some point, you got to come back and take a real look, not just that look that saves you, that got you out of that situation, but not come back and say, know what all was going on, the fullness of it. Well, what is that? Yeah. So.
Yeah. Once we forgive, we have this greater capacity for joy,
Oh my stars.
for freedom, for peace. And the gifts just kind of overflow into our lives once we truly forgive, and we go all the way, and we're not spending this energy on all of the ugliness around an incident or behavior or something like that. And I think that's the challenge with righteous indignation or righteous anger or whatever it is you want to call it.
Yes.
You think, I have a right to this because this happened to me, and yet maybe so. And do you want to block all this goodness in life because you're unwilling to forgive and let go and move forward?
Yeah. And see what else.
It really is it's a personal choice.
It just is. It just is. It's a release. It releases us. It releases us, releases them, and it gives us back a piece of the relationship if you want that. Because a lot of stuff comes from relatives, from people that were closest to us who had access to us.
At our most vulnerable time.
At our most vulnerable time. So it's generally somebody that's in our lives. So that messes up our whole life if we don't come back and just get it right in our own minds and hearts and forgive them, and forgive ourselves.
That's why that question, who's raping you now, is so profound. Talk about hitting you between the eyes.
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that'll make you flinch when somebody says that to you.
I did. When you said it, even you said it now in this conversation, he said that?
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Woo, that was bold, number one, for him to say that.
That was bold.
It was very bold, because that's a hard statement. I mean, I get his point. I really do. But man, that was hard. That was hard. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So we've got about less than 5 minutes left, I think. So does anybody have like a final thing that hasn't been brought in that you might want to bring in?
I don't know that we've brought it in or not, but I just wanted to, I guess we have. We've been talking about the benefits of forgiveness, just why it's so good to do it. And obviously we just talked about getting the whole picture, getting the person back in our life, but it's also for, our own emotional and spiritual well-being. It's about us.
Gosh.
It's about us. We can't be whole. We can't be whole when there's a piece missing, there's a piece hanging over there. There's a whole old story that we keep rehashing. That's how you know there's some forgiveness work to be done, because there's a story that keeps running. So that's one I want to say. Then I'm free. I'm free to build, to understand that, to know how forgiveness works. Because it's not like that's the only person you're going to have to forgive. Right?
Yeah.
Or you're going to need to be forgiven by. Right? I'm better at it. And if you're in a close, loving relationship, there's going to be forgiveness work to be done on both sides all the time.
All the time.
So you got to understand.
Y'all don't ask Bob. Don't ask Bob. We'll get him in on that.
So you're free to build great relationships. I just wanted to talk about just a little bit about the benefits of it. It's just, you're free. You're it's ongoing. So you have an ongoing process of understanding the power of it to continue to do it. So that's all I wanted to add.
What I'd like to bring up is that it is Easter week.
Oh, it is.
I think one of the most powerful examples of forgiveness, which I like to look at,
I love your take on it.
Jesus up on that cross. Yeah. Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Well, they don't know what they're doing. Is that the truth? We don't know what we're doing. If we did, we wouldn't do it. If we truly knew, we wouldn't be capable of doing it.
We understood the totality and the ramifications.
But more than that, Father, forgive them. I don't have to do it. That's, my prayer that I shared earlier. Every good thing that I don't have the power to give them those things. Only Spirit has the power to give them those things. So I let Spirit do it. All I do is allow myself to have a willingness of Spirit to want that. And then God gets to do the rest. So I don't have to do the heavy lifting. I don't have to do the hard work. I can go, I cannot forgive this. It hurts too bad. I have no idea. I can't even think. When I think about it, I cease to function. So God, I have to give it to you.
Okay, take this cup from me. Take it from me. You do it. You do it. Yeah, I like it. Good.
And if Jesus couldn't forgive without help, then I think we could get a little help and it'd be okay.
I think Jesus can help us. I think he showed us the way.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think I am convinced now that absolutely everything can be forgiven. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
And
people forgive murderers.
Stories about the human spirit, because there are some people who've been through some truly heinous events and circumstances, and the examples of forgiveness in desperate times like that are just overwhelming. And that's why I keep reading them and watching them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All can be forgiven. Yes.
It can. It can. That's wonderful. That's a great point. That's a great point. So lovely topic, ladies. Thank you for sharing your experiences, your knowledge, your wisdom.
Thank you, my friends.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we've got just a few seconds left. I'm going to read this by Ernest Holmes.
Please do.
Love is within us. It cannot be destroyed. It can be ignored. To the extent that we abandon love, we will feel that it has abandoned us. Denying love is our only problem, and embracing it is the only answer. Through the power of love, we can let go of past history and begin again. Love heals, forgives, and makes whole.
Beautiful. I love you guys.
All about love.
Okay. I love you all so much. Thanks for being here today.
Love you too. Thank you.
I feel like dinosaur.
Thank you, Zoe, for being our wonderful producer.
And so it is.
So it shall be.